Welcome back, children. We are going to start with Lesson 8 Materials and Solutions. Now, children, what do you mean by materials? Materials means the things which exist in three states of matter. You have already learnt in Standard 3 the three states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. So in this lesson, we are going to learn about the materials and the solutions. Materials means the things which exist in solid form, liquid form, and gaseous form, and how they mix with other and form the solutions. So, children, let's start with the lesson. See, when one substance is mixed with another substance, it is called a mixture. When one substance is mixed with another substance, it is called mixture. Now, this mixture can be of any two substances or more. But when the substances they mix together properly, it is called as homogeneous mixture. And if the particles or materials they don't mix together, then it is called as heterogeneous mixture. So mixture is of two types: homogeneous and heterogeneous. Homogeneous means when all the materials they mix together properly. Example, salt water. When we mix salt in water, it dissolves in water completely. Same way, air. Air is a mixture of many gases, but we cannot find out a single gas in the air. So it is called as homogeneous mixture. Heterogeneous mixture means when the particles are not mixed well and they remain in their own state. For example, sand in water. Sand is a solid form and water is a liquid form. So children, when we mix sand and water, they don't mix together properly. The sand remains in the solid form and water remains in the liquid form. Such a solution or such a mixture is called heterogeneous mixture. So mixture is of two types: homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. It is a homogeneous mixture when two materials when they mix together, it is called homogeneous mixture, and such homogeneous mixture is also called solution. So now what is solution? A solution is when particles of a solid completely dissolve in a liquid. Example is salt and water. Salt is a solid, water is a liquid. When we mix salt and water, they completely mix together to form a solution, and that solution we call it as salt solution. Now children, solution is made up of two parts: solute and solvent. Usually solute is the solid part and solvent is the liquid part. So if we see seawater, seawater is a solution of water and salt. Here water is the solvent, salt is the solute. So the substance which dissolves in a solvent, the substance which dissolves in a solvent or a liquid is called solute. See, here it is given: the solid or liquid or gas substance that dissolves in a liquid to form a solution is called the solute. Solute is the minor part in solution. Minor part means it is in less amount. It is in less amount. So, in the example of salt water, salt is the solute. So, solute means the substance which mixes in the liquid or the substance which dissolves in the liquid. Then comes the solvent. Now, what do we mean by solvent? The substance in which the solute dissolves is called solvent. Usually, this solvent is the liquid. The solute can be anything, solid, liquid or gas. But solvent is most of the time a liquid. So, when we take the example of salt solution, water is the solvent in which salt dissolves. So, children, solution is made up of two parts, solute and solvent. Solute is the part which gets dissolved in the liquid or the solvent, and solvent is the part which allows the solute to dissolve in it. Now comes the solubility. Solubility means how much the substance is dissolving. How much the substance is dissolving, that is known as solubility. So, the property of the solute to dissolve in a solvent is called solubility. Or you can say it is the ability of a solute to dissolve in a solvent. Means it is the ability of the solute to get mixed in a solvent. For example, again we will take of the salt and water. So when we mix salt in water, it completely dissolves in water. So the solubility is 100%. But in that place, if we dissolve sand and water, the sand does not dissolve in water, and so we say that the solubility is less. The solubility is less. So on the basis of solubility, we can say that the substances are of two types, soluble and insoluble substances. The soluble and insoluble substances. Now, what are soluble substances? Soluble substances are those that mix easily in a particular solvent. That mix easily in a particular solvent are called soluble substances. If you take the example of sugar, if you add sugar in water, the sugar will dissolve easily, and so it is called as soluble substance. Insoluble substance. Insoluble substances are those which do not dissolve in a particular solvent. For example, sand. Sand does not dissolve in water. So sand is called insoluble substance. Same way, iron nails. If you put iron nails in water, do they dissolve? No, they don't dissolve. So they are also called as insoluble substances. So children, when we mix any insoluble substance in a liquid, we can see that the solid parts are there. Whereas when we dissolve soluble substance, it dissolves completely in the solution. It dissolves completely in the solution. So, certain substances are soluble in particular solvent but not in other. See, example is there. Sugar dissolves completely in water but not in oil. But not in oil. Then again, solubility also depends upon the size of solute. Size of solute means if the particles are bigger, then it will take time to dissolve. So solubility depends upon the size of solute. Amount of solute means the quantity which you are taking to dissolve, and solvent, and then last is the temperature. Here I would like to give you the example of sugar and water. See, if you take 2 spoons of sugar in 1 glass of water and you start dissolving, it will dissolve easily. But instead of that, if you take 10 to 15 spoons of sugar and if you dissolve in water, in that same glass of water, it will not dissolve, or it will take time to dissolve. Understood, children? So the solubility depends upon the size of the solute, the amount of solute, amount of solvent, and temperature. So these are the factors on which the solubility depends. So here there are some substances given which are soluble and insoluble in water. Salt, sugar, detergent, glucose, they all are soluble in water, whereas sand, plastic, wood, metal, glass, all these are insoluble in water. So I hope that you all have understood up to here. Thank you, children.